All right, I can see myself, so hopefully that means I'm live. Already off to a really good start today with the issues with the streaming software, and yeah, I clicked the wrong thing and took down my own stream. So lessons learned. But anyway, we're gonna crack on with a build today, and I am going to just go through some components with you first. So what I've got with me, first of all, got an Asus motherboard. I'll go over all the deals and everything that I got in a second here, but we had, excuse me, doing this live. Um, so I got a couple of deals off Facebook Marketplace, and I've been basically looking to build a home server for a while, and then it lately became a little bit more necessary, I guess, with a couple of changes at home here. So I'll go over that in a second too. But um, first of all, uh, actually, you know what? I should probably start with the goals for this. Yeah, we're going for the goals. Goals for today. Um, I'm just really hoping that this whole thing works. Um, all of this is secondhand equipment. Um, if I can get it to power on and do a self-test or a post power on self-test, if I can get to that stage, I think we're golden. All the troubleshooting and installing of software, I'll do that later on. But if I can get it to work, that's it represents a lot of value for me after spending money on Facebook Marketplace deals. So, um, goals for this, I really wanted a server primarily that's going to be network attached storage. So, uh, I'm running out of space on my computer. Um, Recently, more than ever, my girlfriend is into some photography, so every time she does a session, 8 gigabytes every time. And so I need somewhere to put all these photos for her that is a little bit out of my hair, but also has some redundancy. My biggest fear is a hard drive fails and she loses clients' photos. So uh, that's not going to happen. But the other sort of secondary goal with this is going to be to build either a Plex or a Jellyfin server and sort of spin up my own at-home Netflix alternative. Netflix just recently made it so that you can't have multiple addresses. That sucks. Password sharing, they're really late to the game with with cracking down on it. But anyway, we're gonna roll our own and start getting some media that's offline. So further to that, we got a motherboard here that I picked up. Let's talk about the deals I got. This motherboard was part of a package deal. Facebook Marketplace. I had a guy. I think he listed it for $300 or $280, but it was a package. So it came with the motherboard, the CPU, as well as a graphics card. I sold the graphics card for $120, and I also talked him down to $260. So it makes this whole thing $140 for the motherboard here and the CPU. Both of which go for more than that if you're buying them individually on eBay or another platform. So it's all used, so you basically get the deal and hope it works. But CPU for us, it's an Intel i5 8400, so it's six cores, 6 threads. Can't remember how many gigahertz it is, but somewhere around the 2.8-ish range. And really importantly for the Plex and or Jellyfin server, it supports Intel QuickSync. So it's going to be able to do some of the hardware transcoding on the CPU die, and I won't need a GPU. We're going to be also running this headless, so I don't have a GPU at all. So part of that network attached storage solution, I got some 4 sticks of matching DDR4 8GB sticks at 2666 megahertz. That's the maximum that this board / CPU will support. And to make sure they're all compatible, I made sure that the part number on these is listed on the motherboard manufacturer's website under the QVL, or Qualified Vendors List. I really need to stop using the jargon, I guess, but I really just want to stress that I'm not an expert at any of this. I'm somewhat well read on it. So, yeah, I feel like anyone that has YouTube could watch a couple videos and probably get this done. So, if this is something that you are interested in, hey, throw that in the comments. Also, for $5, got an Intel stock CPU cooler. It was part of I think the guy was getting rid of a bunch of stuff. So with this CPU, it's a 65 watt TDP. So that should be the maximum wattage it is trying to run through. And worst case scenario, the maximum wattage that in heat that fan has to dissipate. So should be all right. The last thing that I got off Marketplace, and I'm a little bit sketchy and hesitant on this, but I did buy a used power supply. It's an EVGA 650BQ, and it basically came down to price. I got an 80 plus bronze power supply, so relatively efficient, not just a hot steaming pile of garbage. It's semi-modular, so it does have a couple of the cables attached, but I do have some modularity, so I don't have to have extras that I'm not going to be using. And one of them, the PCI power, I won't even be using, so I will have to manage a little bit of cable clutter, but should be okay. And yeah, this is the one part of this that makes me a little bit nervous, so we'll see what we get to when we get to it. Anyway, also going to be putting this all into a chassis that I have from ages ago. Oh. This old beast is, or was, my Windows XP Windows XP like home computer back in, I can't remember, like maybe sometime around the 2000s. Yeah, it's very long in the tooth. All of this stuff's coming out. It's just a good case that I'd like to reuse if I can, and hopefully that works for us. So, to crack on, first step is to get all of this old stuff out. So, I'm going to turn it a little bit better. All right, show you what I'm doing here. I've got it intentionally kind of mirrored away from me so that you can see what I'm doing. But first step is I'm going to get this power supply out of here. And something that I sort of stumbled upon is I really like, for like PC building and parts management and whatnot, it's really convenient go buy yourself a very cheap, just like tackle box kit. I have a tackle box that I bought from Walmart. It was next to nothing, just a very, very cheap ad, and it makes it so nice to organize components for something like this. All the screws and everything, just it's a dream to organize all of that. So this guy comes out. Next, I have an optical drive in here. Man, they don't even make... You don't see ribbon cables like this for optical drives anymore. Ooh. Come on, you. Getting my finger down to release the... Oh, almost. Yeah. This is my very old Radeon power supply, or power supply, graphics card from back in the day. It's it's not even a PCI, it's an AGP slot, which tells you how old it is a little bit. Let's get this motherboard out. We'll leave that fan in for now. Now, all of these fans and things, I wonder if they're still going to even work. This is a very old case. But I think my motto for this has to be, what could go wrong? Well, if anyone has any ideas what to do with this old motherboard here, let me know, because it was originally it's a Pentium 4 platform here. Get the header pins off. Should have probably done this earlier. Oh, they are really on there. I will say this case was always really good for working in. Even though it's so old, it's mostly toolless. Kind of for an older system with power supply on top. Kind of a good design case. It's because it's made in Canada. Alright, so with this all mostly out of the way, these are the front USB headers. This is a little breakout for a USB internal device that needs an actual Type A connection. And that is because, right in the front here, I actually have, see a USB coming out of here. That is for a card reader that I'm going to be leaving installed. Sorry, I can't get a better view of this, but I've got a card reader here. I'm going to be leaving that installed, and that's going to actually be really nice to ingest footage, or not footage, but all of the photos that that my girlfriend takes. So I'm just going to leave it tucked out of the way for now. I'm going to get this guy sort of pushed up in here and out of the way. So, yeah, I really do wonder about this old case fan here. If it still works, that'll be fantastic. Otherwise, it'll be one of the first things to upgrade. This case doesn't have a great amount of airflow. It does have a couple of side little vents that can come through into this front, but it's really not ideal. Okay, there's the I/O shield. I'll make sure I save that with the old motherboard. Part of the cooling of this case is actually going to be achieved with this power supply, which is not a great idea. Don't do what I'm doing. Right. Okay. Oh wow, this case is a little dustier than I remember. Just gonna give it a quick blowout here. Okay, that's most of the debris out of there. Like I say, not perfect. One of the disadvantages of having a couple of cats in the house. But anyway, I'm going to put this aside for a second. And we're going to work on getting the motherboard all together. Oh, some SATA cables. Nice. If I find the actual, this should have been installed on there covering the CPU. Find it in the case. Refreshments. All right. And we're going to just throw it right up on the box and install the CPU. Find where the gold triangle is. Okay, there we go. Tension arm down. And we're going to get the CPU cooler on. This is one of those style ones where the whole, like it's not, they're not actually like a screw on. I'm just trying to figure out which way this goes. Okay. Got those extended correctly. Before you put on the CPU cooler, always remember thermal paste. Oh, I probably put on too much. Now I also want to make sure that the CPU fan header is sort of somewhere around where this is, so that it's so I'm not cable managing it. It's right here, and so I'll just put it sort of upside down to what the sticker says. Oh, wow, it does not want to go on there. I think I'm doing something wrong here. Oh yeah. These went up all the way. Or two of them went anyway. I really hate these. Most of it in. There we go. Okay, I gotta say, I don't particularly enjoy the, the stock CPU cooler. It's not my favorite thing to have ever plugged in or worked with, but it's on, so hopefully that works. And just gonna, while I'm here, make sure we connect CPU fan, and just gonna sort of wrap this cable and tuck it best I can out of the way. Now for the memory, I got 8 sticks. I just hear something. Okay. No problem. Got 8 sticks of 8 by 8, 8 sticks of 8 gigabyte DDR4 to have 32 gigabytes total. That's more than my gaming PC, to be completely fair. Yeah, it's a lot of memory, but it's also because I'm going to be installing TrueNAS on this, and very likely using this with a ZFS file system. Now the thing about TrueNAS is it really favors having a lot of memory because it uses that as a cache. So I'm going to have hard drives, but hard drives are slow. Lots of capacity, but slow. So with the amount of RAM I've got, what it should be able to do is it should be able to keep things that are current or frequently accessed in that 32 gigabytes, and those will be really quick. All right. So I discussed the pricing for the motherboard and the CPU, and when I factor in that I sold the graphics card that it came with, I think I mentioned it was with that sale, $140 for the motherboard and the CPU. The RAM here, I actually got this all from the same seller, and it was $100 itself for that. As far as deals go on Marketplace, that one I don't think was the best. I probably could have talked him down to 90 or $80, but it was just sort of, it all came up as, oh, he's got 4 matching sticks. It's exactly what I looked for, and I didn't bother to try to haggle, because I have also tried haggling sometimes, and they sell to someone else. So at some point, I do need to actually find the component I need. So, well, with this all in, let's get it in the case. Alright, so this is the I/O shield for this motherboard here. You don't want to do anything boneheaded like put it in upside down. Just a little quick sanity check, make sure. Alright. This should just drop right in. I mean, it should drop right in. be slightly bent here. Okay. To make sure. So it also has so IO shields. I hate them. They have these tabs that are designed to make contact with the port itself, but half the time it goes like they try to go in the port with USB or HDMI or something, or in the case of this LAN, the clip was bent and like smashing into the LAN port there. So clearance issues aside, should be okay. It's now all the way in. Just put it in the screws. I feel like the this side of the board is a little bit tight almost. Oh, there it is. And it's because this motherboard has a couple of little PS2 ports, and the tabs for them are just terrible. It's trying to push the board away from the back of the case with the just to make contact. But oh well, it's in. It matters. Probably one of the first upgrades I do to this will be getting rid of this fan and probably replacing it with something a little bit bigger and maybe nicer. It doesn't have to be a Nokia fan, but just something. Yeah. Chassis fan, where are you? Chassis fan. So this is a 3-pin fan. So we won't have good control of how fast it's running, but as long as it is running, we should be okay. We'll test that. All right. Sort of further to my rant there, I really do prefer my gaming computer. I bought a motherboard with an integrated I/O shield. It just makes it so much easier to work with. You have the option. It's a feature that I would look for. All right. Got the motherboard power on. CPU power. Now, I understand why they do this. The 4 or 8 pin connector for the CPU power, as well as the 20+4 connector for the motherboard power, but like it's just annoying to work with sometimes. Trying to keep them together. I think on my gaming computer, I actually ended up just plugging them in one at a time because I had the space. It's just a bit of a mess. This PCI, I don't actually need any of this cabling. I'm going to be cable managing this a little bit better later, but for now I'm just going to stuff it in the front of the case where the drive bays would go. And that may be it. Put these back in. I'm sure I have. These are just sort of like toolless things so that you can add PCI devices. I had added one to the last motherboard. I wonder if I have the cover. I really hope I still do. But either way, I'm probably going to be adding some PCI devices to this later on. Definitely going to be adding some networking. Probably a 2.5 gigabyte. Yeah, probably a 2.5 gig PCI card, just to get some faster networking to a device like this. But for now, we'll just reinstall those. All right. Now let's see if it works. Get some power going. And yes, before you tell me, I am aware that oh, a little RGB. I don't know if the camera even picks that up, but there's a little bit of RGB on this side of the Asus board. I'm just going to turn the power supply off for a second there just to see if I can catch this from the camera. Oh yeah, you can see it. It's right on this side of the board. This is going to be a little bit of a cable managing issue here, but let's see if I can do this. Might be a better cable for the monitor. Oh well, this will work. Oof. Look at that. Alright, let's get a gold monitor. Again. I don't know if this will work, but let's see if I can tilt the monitor up in such a way that maybe you can see a little bit of it. And make sure we're on. And with that, see. With the power button from the case. Button is net and PC switch. This guy. All right, let's see if that works. Fans are spinning. Come on, something on screen. This is the part that is always nerve-wracking, whether or not the thing you built actually works. Hey, there we go. New CPU installed. Please enter setup to configure your system. Nice. Okay, so I don't know if you can see on the screen. You probably can't, but tells me the board, the config or the BIOS revision. It's picked up the CPU, 2.8 gigahertz Core i5 8400, and let me just quickly make sure that that RAM number is the RAM number I'm looking for. 32768. Yeah, that is correct. So 32,768 divided by 1,024 is 32. So 32 gigabytes of RAM was detected. USB devices, 0 drives, keyboards, mice, or hubs. So yeah, this is very much not complete. I still have to install an operating system on it and actually get a hard drive into it. I will do all of that off camera though, so I just wanted to verify everything works, and it does. So I'll probably be doing another live stream at some point with more on my goal of getting a home network server running. So thanks for watching. If you're interested in things like that, you know, maybe follow me. If you have to, you do. So anyway, that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching.